Hello, everyone, and welcome to Career Talks, a podcast that helps you turn your dreams and aspirations into reality and understand what goes into doing that. And today we have with us somebody who is already well known to all of you all. Other than that, he's going to talk about a career that everybody right now wants to pursue, especially youngsters. So today we have with us our influencer, Mr. Agasthya Shah. So hi, Agasthya.
Hi.
So Agasthya, I think everybody would really like to know that what inspired you to be an influencer.
Honestly, I've this term influencer just happens to be what I do. But ever since I was 13, I've been making keyboard videos, and that's how I started making content. And it was never about fame or all of this cool stuff. It was just that I wanted to travel the world and make videos while I'm doing it. So it was as simple as that, and that inspired me. Ki I didn't know that this is what I was going to do, because when I was 13, like 10 years ago, this was not such a mainstream big thing.
Right.
So in my head, I just wanted to do anything that would get me to travel and make videos. And initially, though, I wanted to be a camera person for a travel show, because for Ye Jawani Hai Deewani, I was like, this is crazy, I just want to travel. So that's what kind of inspired me, and through some way, this is now life.
Okay, so I think it just reminds me of Ye Jawani Hai Deewani and
Yeah.
the guy who wants
Yeah,
to
basically.
like Ranbir Kapoor.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so tell me that everybody sees the fame, right? Everybody sees where you are, the number of followers that you have. But what are the few qualities that you need to take up this unconventional profession?
I feel like after this is my 5th year of making content now, and I feel like in 5 years I've learned quite a lot about this. I feel like if I had to point out 2 to 3 qualities that if you want to be a content creator, one is you need to love it. A lot of people today want to become a content creator because it has money, because it has fame, because you get free stuff all the time. And if you get into it for that reason, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work in the long term, because there is going to be like a down at some point where your followers don't grow that much, or your videos aren't doing that well. So I feel like persistence and that grit that you need, I feel like that is very, very important, and passion for doing this. You can't be doing this for the wrong reasons. Like, you could do it, but you'll only be able to do it for a certain amount of time. You won't really be able to do this for a long time, which is needed if you want to make this your career, if you don't love it. So I feel like passion, grit, and persistence of posting consistently, even though your videos aren't working. It might take 1 month, it might take 3 years, it might take 10 years. But that's what I was saying, right? If you love it, you'll keep doing it. And for some people it hits in a month, for some people it takes 7 years. Like for me, it took 7 years before I got to my 100K followers. So I feel like those are some qualities that I have at least seen in a lot of creators, and that I think I have in me also to a large extent, which kind of makes creators successful, or like traits that you need.
Right. So I think persistence, grit, and all that is never seen when we actually see
Yeah, I guess.
We are just seeing the finished product.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you want to get into content creation, what are a few things that you really need to build on, or a little peek behind the scenes on what goes into creating your content?
Quite a lot, actually. It starts obviously from the idea. What do I want to make? Then it comes, for example, about my content, I make kind of relatable comedy videos. So first is the idea. Is this relatable to everybody, right? Second, very briefly, then we go on to scripting. Then we go on to scripting it again to make sure the jokes are actually funny, they are landing. Then we go to shooting, then we go to editing, then we go to editing ka bhi second part, where if there's a feedback, if it's a brand video or something. So all of these steps together kind of creates like a flow for you, which I feel like you need to do yourself, right? And there will be phases. For a phase, I was not scripting at all. I would just pick up the phone and I would start talking, and that worked at that phase. But after a point, I was tired of that. I felt like I could maybe write better jokes if I took the time out to script my jokes, maybe sleep over it for a night, wake up, read the script again. Is it still funny to me? So I feel like that's like a brief process, and you'll find out what exactly your process is, or how you like to work while you're kind of doing this.
So understanding the process and the amount of hard work actually should be something that a content creator should always have in their
Yes,
mind.
yes.
Also, the persistent and grit to be on it for a longer duration of
Yes,
time
yeah.
to reach where you all reach. My other question to you, and I think most of the parents watching this will also have it, is okay, we believe it's short lived. We
Yeah.
believe that, okay, इसमें what is going to happen here, and that's not the right career for my child, you know, like, so I'm sure you must have also faced
Fully,
something like
fully.
that.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that you'd like to tell parents that what do they need to keep in mind if they want their child, or they would feel that their child is made for this field?
So I feel like purely from the parents' perspective, and this is what it came down to with my parents also when I told them I want to do this full time, and it just came down to the point where I told them that, you know, worst case, I was, I think, 20 when I decided to go full time into this, and I just told them that, see, what's the worst case that can happen? At 25, I'm not successful at this. I'll get a job after that, or I'll do something else after that, right? But and I think the tipping point for them also was that the just keeping it in mind that it should never come that maybe 10 years down the line I go back to them and I tell them that you didn't let me do what I wanted to do at that time. I didn't even get a chance to try it. I could have been
Right.
successful at it.
Right.
So I feel like that's very, very important. But at the same time, I want to tell the kids also that this is not how it just instantly happens and they're going to listen to you. For me also, it took me 3 years, and my parents would see me skipping parties and shooting and making sure I'm posting 2 videos every single day during COVID. And only when my followers started to grow a bit, you know, I showed them actually tangible money is coming in, because at the end of the day, they also want what's best for you. And once they see that, okay, tangible money is also coming in, he's doing something, he's not doing something wrong, because this entertainment and media field, the way a lot of people perceive it, it's not the best. And to a large degree, it can be like that, but you just don't need to lose your way in it. And I feel like that's what parents also need to understand, that support your child, let them do what they want to do, because worst to worst, there honestly is no downside to chasing your dream. And even if you fail, at least you know that you gave it every ounce and then you failed, so you'll never live with regret. And I feel like that regret will be both from the kid side and the parent side. Maybe parents feel it a little later when they see their child in a profession that they don't necessarily like. Maybe it can hit the parents later, and then it's too late to change it. And same for the kid. So I feel like there's a healthy balance there.
So I think what you were saying makes a lot of sense, that give that exploratory time to your
Yeah.
child, but at the same time you need to keep in mind that is he or she doing it because he or she really wants to do
Yeah.
it and pursue a dream, or is it just because it's a trend and a fact?
It's a cool job.
It's a cool job.
Yeah,
to do.
no, that's what I said,
Yeah.
right? Like, I feel like if you're that like laser focused into it, then like I think your parents can tell.
Right.
Your parents can tell. They know you, yeah. Like, so I feel like that's very, very important. You need to show them that you give me a chance in this, and I won't mess it up, and I won't take it for granted. And I feel like then no parents are going to stop you,
Right.
because at the end of the day, they love you more than you love yourself, and they want what's best for you.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So tell me one thing, that being a content creator, and you only said that, you know, there might always be somebody else who comes up with the better content, so
Yeah.
you're continuously working at it. But post being a content creator, is general understanding is a very short-lived career. Is there anything that can happen beyond that? Or does a person who entering into that field understand it, okay, right now this is there, but I need to plan for the future?
Yeah.
So are there any other lines that open up post, or other than being just a content creator?
I think 100% they do. You need to. I was today morning only. I was watching this video of Kevin Hart, and he was speaking about when you're in a particular industry, you need to use all your resources and constantly think about the next thing. It's not just that, okay, I'm Kevin Hart, I'm the biggest comedian in the world, I'm doing this arena, that arena. He's also gone and done business ventures. He's also gone and done acting. So as a creator, I feel like. Very early on, when I met a couple of mentors of mine, they had told me that, you know, after becoming a big creator, usually you have two choices. Either you become an actor, or you have some sort of a business in media or in anything else that you want to.
Right.
So I feel like you need to have that long term thinking mentality that, see, this is not going to go on forever, right? It might go on for 10 years to 15 years, best case scenario in India, especially now with the way content is. So I feel like you always need to save your money that you're making from content, because it's not going to be like this forever. A lot of creators make this mistake where they have all this money coming in and they go crazy, and then 5 years later they're broke and they don't know what to do. So that's one thing. Second thing can be, if you want to become an actor, start pursuing that. I still am not sure what I want to do. I have I am involved in a couple of businesses here and there because they've come to me organically, and they've been good like partners. And also maybe at some point I will at some point have a couple of businesses of my own. I don't know what they are as of now, but I know that it's going to happen. And I feel like just knowing when to pivot and when to kind of rebrand and come up with a new version of yourself is very, very important too. Because maybe at 20, I'll turn 23 this year, maybe at 23 nobody wants to take life advice from a 23-year-old, no
Right.
matter what you have done, because they're going to be like, bro, tu kya sikha raha hai mere ko. So
Right.
maybe at 28, 30, then that is kind of a rebrand that you do to yourself. So yeah, I feel like you as a creator, you need to understand this is not how life is going to look all the time. You're not going to be, you might be relevant for the long term, but you're definitely going to have a peak at some point. Right. So you need to understand that and kind of plan backwards from it and see that how am I setting myself up for life in 10 to 15 years, roughly. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
So if I'm giving too serious answers, you can
No,
tell
you
me.
aren't giving too serious answers. I think this is something that nobody's thought about.
Maybe.
Technically, that we always see that, okay, right now this is working, but if this has got to be a profession,
Yeah.
there has to be a progression.
Yeah. Wow. What a line.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, keeping that in mind, Agastya, I have seen that fame gets to everybody's head.
Yeah.
Okay. But, and being in a limelight is loved by all. I
Yeah.
think if 10 people recognize me, I would also be like, wow, I'm being recognized.
Yeah.
But there are a few pitfalls to this career also.
Yeah.
Which is something that people don't look at, because we generally tend to look at the brighter side.
Yeah.
So what are some of the pitfalls of pursuing this career that one needs to be aware of?
I feel like the biggest one is that you always have to have your guard up in public. And this has personally, like, I'm learning this even as I get older, is I maybe can't go out and like I've had experiences where I go out in a party with my friends and people are kind of sneakily, they keep the phone here like they're on call, but I can see they're not on call, they're taking a video, things like that. And it can get to your head also very quickly. You can feel like, what do these guys know? I'm to doing this, I'm at least successful, I have something to show for it. A lot of people kind of think, what do my parents know, what does my brother know, what do all these people know? And I feel like the only reason I still am sane, very honestly, is because of my family. Because all of you guys keep me so grounded. Like, especially Nana. I have a tattoo also, which is day one in his handwriting, because he's the one who keeps me the most grounded. Like, I remember when I did the movie and I told him that, Nana, I've done a movie. He's like, okay. First thing, he's like, doesn't matter, stay grounded. Doesn't matter, stay grounded. So I feel like family has a huge part to play in being grounded. But coming back to what you were asking about the pitfalls, there are many pitfalls. You don't understand who's really real with you. You don't understand when people are trying to maybe take advantage of you. You don't understand how to manage all of this fame, because one moment you might feel like everything's great in your life, next moment nobody's with you. So I feel like all of these things that you would think are possibly true are true. There's a lot of other bad stuff also that happens. I've seen at a lot of places and parties, which is another thing that you need to stray away from. So yeah, basically just be level-headed. Just know that this is not life, right? This is in real life. This is not how your life should look. This is not how you maybe want to live your life, even though you might feel like it in the moment. So I feel like just having that balance and remembering who you were before all of this started, and
Right.
still trying to be that person. That's what always helps me. Like I just try to think of how I want to be treated and how people were with me or who I was before any of this happened, and I try to do the same to others today. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So great. So tell me that when you say this, and I'm sure it's very difficult to manage because when that moment comes, when everybody's gaga over you,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to manage that as well as the other side of it when
Yeah.
things are not working out. So how do you balance yourself? I know your family is one thing that keeps you in line,
Yeah.
but other than that, how do you manage yourself?
When things are going good or bad, which one first?
Both.
First, which one do you want? Okay,
When
let's.
they are going good.
When they're going good, there's nothing to manage when things are going good. Things are going great. I try to, when things are going really good, I kind of have similar touch points. When things are going good, I go on long drives and be happy about it. When things are going bad, I also go on long drives. Just the music choices kind of change when things are going good versus bad. I like to work out if I've had a good day, and I like to work out if I have a bad day. Very honestly, it's pretty much the same things that I do, because I think I never let myself really think that I have done something crazy. I might think that for maybe 10-12 hours, like after something happens, and then I'm always like, okay, come on, what's next now? What can I do that's bigger? What can I do next? Because very honestly, today shock value is dead. Like we're living in a world where maybe if you do something crazy, it's important for a day, 2 days, 3 days maximum. So you can't be stuck up कि अरे मैंने तो ये किया है. Why are people moving on from it? They are going to move on. You have to come up with something bigger now, because once you keep doing things, so when I'm down, I feel like I go and speak to my mentors, my family. I like to go to the gym because I can just take out the frustration. I love to go play football when I'm down. Drives, playing FIFA with Riditya, my younger brother. Playing TT has been my new thing. So basically, my routine doesn't change if it's been a good day or it's been a bad day. These are the same things I would do if I'm doing great also. I would just be happier while I'm doing all of these things. So, but a couple of things that I do when I'm down, especially, is I like to go and remind myself of why I started. Going back to my initial point, because I know I love to do this. I'm not doing this, all the time for the views, for the likes, for this. Deep down in my heart, I'm still making videos because I'm that 13-year-old kid who wanted to make videos and today has a chance, and so many people are watching my videos. So I feel like centering yourself and remembering that even if I was making videos even when 5 people were watching my videos, today maybe 50 million people or 100 million people are watching.
Right.
Nothing's changed for me. So good or bad day, my routine kind of remains the same. If it's a bad day, I go and remind myself of why I am doing this, and that kind of gives me that purpose that it's fine. One bad day doesn't mean it's a bad life.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. So coming back to the fact that we use the term influencer.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay. But I just remember a saying from Spider-Man
Yeah.
that with great
Great
power comes great responsibility.
Yep.
And that is a key, I
Yeah,
think, to
it's very
being an
important.
influencer or a content creator,
Yeah.
that there is a lot of responsibility attached. So, what are a few things that you keep in mind when you are creating your content?
I've said this before also. I feel like there's one common check line in my head, which is I don't want to promote anything or do anything or show people anything that you should do this. Something that I would not let my younger brother do.
Okay.
That is like my set boundary line, and I feel like it's such a good moral compass to have, because I feel like you can say certain things, you can do certain things and say that don't get influenced by me. I'm doing this, it's my life, don't get influenced by me. But I feel like as a creator, you need to understand that your life is cool. We make trends today. The clothes we wear, the haircut we have, the travel destinations that you see 20 creators post,
Right.
you want to go there. They might not directly be telling you to go there, but voyeurism exists for a reason, and it's the reason shows like Big Boss and all of these work so much in our country because
Right.
we're obsessed with that. And you Yes, I agree. It's a horrible thing, to always have responsibility on you. But I feel like it's part of the job. It is partly what you have signed up for. And you don't have to be responsible all the time. You just have to be responsible when you're putting your content out. I'm not saying I am responsible all the time, but when I'm behind closed doors, when I'm just with my friends and family, I am the most irresponsible person. Trust me, there have been some very bad experiences, but that is not something that I am promoting to people, right? And I feel like that's very important, because even if one person sees what I'm doing and does the same thing, maybe 100 people do it, 99 people are fine, but that one person goes down some dark place. I don't think I can ever live with myself if that ever happens. So that is kind of how I uphold or keep my responsibility while making content.
Right. So, understand one thing, when you said right now, 10 people post going to different destinations
Yeah.
and you want to go there. Or there might be other people who promote a particular kind of lifestyle or a
Yeah.
brand. That has given rise to a lot of consumerism
Yeah.
amongst the young
Yeah.
people who believe that that is life, right? So I am not saying that it promotes consumerism, but somewhere indirectly it is.
Yeah.
So what are your views on this?
I feel like personally also I realized that I was consuming way too many things than I actually needed, very honestly, and I've cut down on a lot of things in aspect to that. But I feel like maybe people feel like this about influencers because we also show our lives, but this is something that's been happening for such a long time. Advertisements have just gone from maybe outdoor more to digital. And yes, definitely influencers and a lot of people, maybe including me, I don't want to be a hypocrite and say main to nahi karta. Yeah, we do promote a degree of consumerism, but how I've thought of it very honestly is sometimes I used to think that maybe I want the things that I couldn't have before, and now since I can, let me have all of it. And this was a phase which I was in, and I outgrew that phase now. But I feel like I don't know how exactly people can, because even if creators weren't promoting consumerism, it would still exist in this world.
Right.
And I'm not saying necessarily just because if we don't promote it, it doesn't exist. But I'm not quite sure how to deal with this, but I want to figure it out.
Okay, so we'll wait for you to figure that
Yeah.
out. And there is something called as cancel culture, right?
Yeah.
Which is a huge part of your phase, and one mistake and your career is all
Pretty
gone
much.
down,
Yeah.
right? So that is, I think, a fear that all people into either content creation or in being an influencer have.
Yeah.
So you said that you have to be very clear as to how you portray yourself on real and real life, and make sure, as you said, you have a moral compass.
Yeah.
But there is something that people who are entering this field are coming up with. Now, probably you have a family that gives you that moral compass. What can other people do to create responsible content and also overcome this cancel culture fear?
I feel like a large degree of why I am so cautious with I've always been like this,
Right.
but I feel like why I think that's a good decision now is because honestly, once you're in the public eye, people just want to find a reason to tear you down for nothing, right? And you need to tread very carefully. It's a very polar thing. Either you tread very carefully or you go full Rakhi Sawant route and you're like going crazy everywhere. There is there is nothing in the middle.
Right.
So I feel like with cancel culture, people are a lot less forgiving to people they don't like.
Right.
Correct. And people are a lot less forgiving to people they don't like or the life they would like to have, because at the end of the day, if there are 100 spots up, 5 people mess up, you take 5 people down. It makes space for the other 5 people to
Right.
come, right? Maybe
Right.
one of the person who took somebody down might actually get up to that place.
Right.
So I feel like that is also a huge reason for anything people will cancel you today. I'm not saying people aren't doing things wrong. They're 100% doing things wrong and they should be, held responsible for that. But I feel like for anything, if people are pulling you down, then the audience is not blind. I feel like a lot of people think the audience is stupid, and I think that's the biggest mistake you can make. Like they are actual people. They are not numbers on screen. Maybe for you they are, but they are actual people who have thoughts, opinions, views. They are human beings. They too, they have their own moral compasses.
Right.
So I feel like you can never forget that, and keep in mind people's feelings, because it's honestly not that hard to be nice and do the right thing, and rather not do the wrong thing. So I feel like that's how you can stray away from cancel culture. It's eventually going to happen at some point, because that's just how life is. Yeah, so I feel like those are my views on cancel culture.
So would you say that influencers have a freedom, complete freedom to express themselves, or are they always walking on eggshells? कि ये बोलूँगा तो cancel हो जाऊँगा, ये बोलूँगा तो ये हो जाएगा.
I feel like it's a balance, correct?
Okay.
Because if you're not expressing your views, your thoughts, your opinions on things at all, then it's just not fun, very honestly, even for me.
Right.
But you need to be very careful, like I said, because you might be promoting something, but you might not be that well educated on a particular topic. You might think your view is right, right? But what if you yourself aren't that educated to be commenting on that particular topic, and you influence 10 lakh people and that triggers something?
Right.
So I feel like there is a healthy balance. You can share your thoughts, your views, and your opinions very freely, right? Freedom of speech hopefully exists in our country right now. But you need to understand that what you say has some weightage and some power behind it. So don't be stupid with what you say, which some people are, honestly.
So I think it is a very responsible place to be also,
Yeah.
if you are into a content creation, if you are an influencer. Now Gen Z is constantly on social media, and जो दिखता है वो बिकता है.
That's
I
true.
think generally
No,
is
it's
what.
true, it's true.
And that's how they even form their opinions.
Yeah.
So somewhere they are losing their capacity to think
Yeah.
and rationalize what is being said, what's being done. What is something that is a point of advice? It's not only Gen Z, I think even my generation does that, right? And we also get influenced. So what is that small bit of advice that you would give even your viewers as well as your creators? So I think I'll split this question into two.
Okay.
That what is a bit of advice that you would give to people who are consuming content, that what do they need to keep in mind?
I feel like it's very important to keep in mind that. So actually, I was 2-3 months ago on another podcast, and one creator, you might know Tanisho,
Yeah.
she had said something really nice. She said, social media is turning us all into the same person and we don't realize it. And I have just sat there for 2 minutes. I'm like, what have you just said? Because it's so true.
Right.
We all consume the same content. We all want to wear the same clothes now because that's cool. We all want to travel to the same place. We all want to live that Pinterest board life, eating avocado toast, working out in the gym, going to play football, driving a nice car. So it's all become the same thing, and I feel like individuality is really dying if you purely live on the internet.
Right.
You can live on the internet and still have your own individual personality, but you need to make that conscious decision that just because this pastel color is blue, or this pastel color is trending, then I don't have to wear that pastel blue. I can like a pastel pink also, or not even pastel. I can like a orange also. You don't need to wear that just because it's cool.
Right.
You can wear that and wear this. You don't need to follow trends all the time. You don't need to do all of those things, because the more you get offline, the more you'll actually develop your personality.
Right.
So I feel like that's a very important point for viewers also to keep in mind.
So I also understand that the people that you are following and the people that you are aping also have their own individuality.
Yeah,
So that is something that they strive to maintain.
Exactly, because otherwise what's my content?
Exactly.
It's my personality. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think even the way you do different things outside of your
Yeah.
work, and also I think, Agasthya, we always confuse work as life. So this is your work,
Yeah.
and I think you have striven to maintain a work and a life balance
It's very important.
that everybody needs to do.
Yeah.
Right? So Agasthya, let me come on to one thing, that when young people want to even enter this line, One thing that strikes out to me in a conversation is that know whether this is your passion, not only your passion, this is your dream that you're
Yeah.
ready to live.
Yeah.
Have a clear vision of what
Yeah.
you're going to be doing. Have a moral compass that guides you because it's a position of responsibility. And you have said that you have to be really aware of all the time, even when you are in the public, as to how are you projecting yourself and what are you saying. This can create a lot of mental pressure on a lot of people. So, is there something like having the right mentors for you that and the right kind of people who accountably keep you grounded is a key, right? How does one find mentors who can guide them the right way?
Very interesting question. So I feel like I've found all my mentors in very, very different ways. But if I had to find a mentor today, what I would say is in the field that you want to work in, try to find somebody who's knowledgeable, is experienced, has been there, done that, basically.
Right.
And that you don't need to want to have their career trajectory, but maybe you like what they have done or you're an admirer of their work. So if you can reach out to them, I feel like cold emails are a great way to reach out to people. With Instagram and all of this, LinkedIn
Right.
especially is a great way. Cold email, LinkedIn, shoot them an Instagram DM, do some jugaad, get their phone number, call them, say, oh, wrong number, oh, is this you? I'm a huge fan. I was, essay, maybe not huge fan if you want them to be your mentor, but something like that. I
Right.
feel like you need to, jugaad is the way you can get somebody, because you obviously want a mentor that is not accessible to everybody, right? Because then you're all getting the same advice, and the entire point of a mentor is so they can teach you in 10 minutes what they've learned in 10 years, right? And that's the importance of a mentor. So I feel like all of these different ways, and you don't even need to be in direct touch with a mentor, right? Like I had gone for Tony Robbins' program and I think he's my mentor. I don't speak to him, but like I watch his videos on YouTube, I've attended his programs, I like to listen to what he says because that really helps me. So I feel like there are different versions of mentors also. So these are some ways that you can get in touch with your mentors. Yeah.
So, Agasthya, before we leave, I think everybody would like to know one incident
Yeah.
that really sticks out to you
Yeah.
in your entire 7-year journey.
Oh shit.
Anything that you can leave with our audience before we say our final goodbyes.
So what's the
Any
vibe?
incident.
What, like any incident?
Your vibe. Your vibe.
Any incident that stands out to me. I want to say something that I haven't said before. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
What's an incident? A cool incident, na?
A cool and something that goes with your image.
Yeah,
I think it has to be funny.
Yeah. I'll tell you something very recent. So, mom, dad, Aditya, and I were in Mahabaleshwar recently, and we were on that lake. Okay, it's a very, very, very probably my craziest instance like in recent times. We were on the lake and we were boating. We were paddling. We were going inside the lake, and dur se I hear a voice, Agasthya, and it's some random aunties on another boat, and they are pointing to me, and their boat, so they had somebody who's rowing, they have got their boat next to me, and Aditya and I'm like, what is happening? And through the other boat they have taken a picture with me, and I was like, what is happening? I'm in the middle of a lake in Mahabaleshwar, I'm on a boat. So that's a crazy thing that's happened recently.
So that's a fan moment.
Yeah.
And a completely different route than what you
I was so confused. Imagine I'm just chilling, I'm boating with my family in Mahabaleshwar, and I heard aunties because they had seen Nadanya, that's what they said. But it was so cool. It was a very, very cool moment.
Okay, so I think while speaking to Agasthya today, we realized that being a content creator is not the 1-minute reel that you're seeing. There is a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of passion, a lot of perseverance. And also, I would say a lot of guts to put yourself out
Oh
there
yeah.
every day.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So understand that while it might seem a very fascinating field, that you do need to keep in mind that it's a lot of work. Other than that, you had to be at it. So even parents need to understand that when you are giving your child that space to explore, you have to keep them grounded.
Yes, it's very important.
You
Please.
have to make sure that they are on it diligently,
Yeah.
as if they are pursuing their dream, and it's not a fad that they're following.
Yeah.
So thank you so much,
Thank
Agasthya,
you.
for being with us today.
Thank you.
And I'm surely looking up to all your comments, and we will try our best if we can address them.
100%.
So yes, thank you everybody for being here with us today.